Welcome to the Carnival of Dreams.
In this episode of Theme Park World Tour, we'll be talking to Nick Hutson about his new project, Theme Park Fan the Musical, and hearing an exclusive sneak peek of the show. We'll also hear from Liam R. Findlay from the company Aroma Prime, who have made a special scent to celebrate the release of the musical. In today's video, we will also be asking you to donate to Calm, a charity largely dedicated to preventing suicide. We ask you to give generously, and you'll find further details in the description below.
Last time I saw you, it was Chessington annual pass holders. That's the last time I went to a theme park. Were you there that day? I can't remember.
I was, yes, I was in your video.
It was Tomb. Yeah,
Tomb Blaster version 12.7. Yeah.
And we were supposed to be going to Europa Park, and obviously the world changed a little bit.
It
But some good things have come out of it, which leads me to Theme Park Fan the Musical.
Yes.
When I first met you, 5 years ago now, something like that, this is something you'd always sort of talked about, and not a month went by where you wouldn't send me something on Messenger with something you'd been working on, or some little song.
Was it? Because I don't remember that. I mean, the idea came to me, very firmly in lockdown, back in first lockdown. Maybe it's been bubbling away in my head for longer than that. I don't know.
I think it has. There's just been little references, and obviously the theme park fan song that you did was incredibly popular. So I guess this has been, would you say it's a bit of an evolution of that song to kind of, really make something a bit bigger and a bit more meaningful?
Yeah, the song, I did the song 2018, the day we went to the Alton Towers press event. I remember I wrote it in that morning. And it was a thing that existed. It did its job. It made people laugh. It was a fun little catchy tune. And sorry, Adam, I presume you started the interview. It was just a bit of a cut. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So that was that, and then people just kept saying to me, "When are you going to do the next theme park fan?" I said, "Well, I can't really do the next theme park fan because I've said all I can in it." But then I thought I'd like to write a musical in lockdown because it's what one does, obviously. And it just went from there, really. It started off being this American idea where people would go to a fictional park in America, and then a friend of mine heard it and said, "Yeah, it's fun, but make it about you and your friends." And I was trying to come up with the title, and I thought, well, it's about theme park fans, so I've got the song. Let's make Theme Park Fan the Musical, and the rest sort of wrote itself very, very slowly. And it's now the biggest UK theme park collaboration has ever been, which wasn't what I was setting out to do originally. It was meant to be a concept album originally with just me, Ryan Nixon, and master musician and man of many talents, Owen Evans. Thankfully, Ryan and Owen are still part of the show, but they're part of a much bigger ensemble of kind of members of the community, whether it's creatives or actors, performers, and or some fun cameos. So it's really become this weird, wonderful / weird celebration of the community, about the community, for the community, by the community. So it's a joyous project to have been forced upon people.
We're about a week away, I think, from the release date. It's going to be out on February the 6th. And the musical is set in Blackpool, which is sort of anyone that anyone who isn't an enthusiast, you should know that Blackpool is very much the mecca for theme park fans. And every year, kind of, I suppose anyone who's a theme park fan tends to head to Blackpool around that time. Yeah. And the theme park community, if you like, kind of all meet up and have a fantastic time. So it's a great setting for it. Give us a little overview of the story, the sort of the plot line, if you like, of the musical.
Well, I mean, what's about the timing of this is that we are releasing it on February the 6th, 7:30 p.m., which is the time when we should be at Blackpool, because they open the park at the first weekend in February. We can't be there, so we're bringing Blackpool to you through the musical and through the smell, which you've about. So that's great. So the story is, it's about Jenny, who's played beautifully by Ryan Nixon, who plays a new vlogger, someone who wants to be part of the theme park YouTube goon-munity, I call it. And he's kind of a new vlogger. We've all been there. We've all had our first time at pool. We've all had our first time at ScareCon, or first day at school, first day at work. You know, it's that kind of, I want to be here, don't know anyone, but I want to fit in and I want to do the best that I can. So it's all about that. And he's all starstruck. He's meeting kind of Zapstone, which is a lovely play of Jack Silkstone, played by the arch nemesis herself, Archie Stephen, and meets Costa Cassie, a bit of a reference to your channel there, a kind of lovely version of Cupcakes and Coasters blended in with the kind of all the females of the community, who's very, very lovely, warm, intelligent character, shows Jamie the ropes, as 'twere, and he meets, you know, seasoned vloggers and people who just show him this is what we do, and he comes up with an idea to propel his fame. It doesn't quite go to plan, but that's what the story is all about. So it's a celebration of the community. It's a celebration of Blackpool. It's a celebration that we can all experience without being there in person. So I think it's turned into a full project.
It doesn't mean you've sort of mentioned a couple of very talented people there, Owen Seawolf, Ryan Nixon. Yeah. It doesn't really surprise me to see such a plethora of talent.
Yeah. Owen Seawolf is his Twitter. His real name is Owen Evans, but I think we should all call him Owen Seawolf.
I think so. That's a cooler name.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But yeah, so many talented people involved. For example, John Burton from, you know, a designer within the theme park industry, has designed the show's artwork. Kieran Quinn, who's in the show as well, he's designing the sets that you'll see on screen as the show is playing. We've had Serena Cherry, who's an amazing rock guitarist, and also Luke from Poster Gen, who's another amazing rock guitarist, also be musicians involved with the show as well. So it's really a celebration of so many people's singing, writing, recording, drawing talent, and that's what's, and of course Aroma Prime as well, and all in support of Calm, the mental health charity, which is great.
What are your sort of favourite musicals, and is there one in particular or something in particular that really gave you some inspiration for this?
The Book of Mormon is a show that I think is a lot of people love. It's incredibly clever, written by the South Park guys and Robert Lopez of Frozen fame and Avenue Q fame. That was sort of an influence because it's about someone being in an unfamiliar territory and learning about how to cope with that, with the kind of irreverent musical styles and the kind of lessons you learn along the way. So I guess that is an influence, but then that's not really doing anything original. It's just parodying buddy movies from the 50s and musical comedies as a piece of art themselves. There's lots of musical theatre references in the show. There's Evita, Les Mis, Wicked, Billy Elliot. What else? I can never remember. Enough in there to keep people happy, and lots of theme park music references, lots of theme park in jokes, lots of broad theme park jokes, but ultimately it's quite touching at the end. So no specific musical has been the influence for this. So many musicals have been an influence for this, and I don't really have a favorite musical. I like so many shows for so many different reasons, but I do miss theatre so much, and that's what this has been, you know, interesting for us to do, because my God, we would put this on a stage if we could, and it's just we're doing the best we can. And when people listen to it, you have to realize this is lockdown recordings, so some people's mics might not sound as amazing as other people's mics, but hopefully we'll be able to fix that in the future going forward. So this is just a kind of, it's almost like a preview of, here's our show, please be nice, enjoy it.
One thing you mentioned there was the company Aroma Prime, obviously heavily connected to the world of themed amusement parks and themed attractions in general. I actually caught up with Liam Findlay from Aroma Prime earlier this week. So let's dip in and see what Liam had to say about the new scent that they've created for the musical. Okay, so I'm joined by Liam Findlay, or was that the right pronunciation, by the way? I don't know if it's Findlay or Findlay.
Yeah, Findlay.
I'm joined by Liam from Aroma Prime. First of all, for anyone who doesn't know, who are Aroma Prime and what do they do?
Aroma Prime makes smells for experiences, and they're unusual smells such as pirate ships and dinosaurs and penguin sick. Anything you can imagine to enhance an experience.
I've actually did a video, and fans of the channel will know that we did a video about your smells on the channel. So I think one of the ones you sent was penguin poo, and I was on a trip with Marcus Gaines from Coaster Touring, and we walked past a penguin exhibit, and it was spot on. Not the nicest smell in the world, but it was absolutely spot on. So you were very kind to sort of send us some samples, and we made a video with you, and you've made a few videos and worked quite closely with enthusiasts, especially over the last couple of years. How important is that to you guys?
Well, it's been, I suppose it was kind of an unexpected benefit, because the company previously didn't do so much marketing. And then I thought, because of our theme park customers, it would be nice to see if enthusiasts were interested in kind of getting more engaged in things, and taking advantage of the way that the smells can help transport you back to your favorite attractions. And they have been really supportive, and it's been brilliant. They're kind of our main audience, I suppose, on social media, even though we're appealing to museums and care homes and all those kinds of things. There's definitely a nice buzz coming from enthusiasts.
Yeah, it's quite cool. Anyone that watches sort of my channel will know I believe in the power of nostalgia, if you like. And you can get a lot of memories across with old footage and that kind of stuff. But I think, what you guys did, the fact you're able to sell a scent that someone might have smelled at a theme park, that's quite an evocative way of inducing someone's memory, do you know what I mean, of their time in the queue for Wicker Man or whatever it might be. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because you're actually in a way buying the real, exactly the same, like chemically exactly the same air that you would breathe in for that attraction. I kind of compare it to like being able to buy a piece of the Wicker Man coaster, like a piece of wood, except there's an unlimited amount of the smells. So it's quite nice in that regard. You can own a real piece of the ride.
It's quite cool. So obviously I'm talking to Nick Hutson, and we're approaching the release date of Theme Park Fan the Musical, which is very exciting. How have you guys got involved in this project?
Well, I saw that Nick was talking about the upcoming musical, and being Aroma Prime was actually founded in Blackpool in 1973.
I didn't know that. It's my own ignorance. Should have researched before our interview a bit better.
That's okay. We don't have a Wikipedia page. And our first customers, I believe there was a dinosaur dark ride in Blackpool. There's Blackpool Pleasure Beach, obviously, they've been a customer. So we're quite closely connected with Blackpool. And I thought, because of the theme park connection as well, and the connection with the community that we're already familiar with, it would be nice to see if we could enhance the kind of virtual reality aspect of the musical and add another dimension to it. And it's been nice because we've been able to help contribute to the charity to it as well.
Which is great, which details obviously are all below, and we've been talking about that a little bit already. So tell us a bit more about the actual scent.
Well, it's we went through a few different things. We were talking about the smell of the dark ride in Blackpool. and a carnival and spoons / a pub. Create any copyright issues.
Yeah.
But in the end, we decided on a kind of sea air mixed with old wood that might make you familiar with the pier or old coasters. And there's also kind of a metallic steel element to it. So it's kind of combining all the thoughts we had into a overall Blackpool smell that you would probably smell on the opening weekend.
Was it challenging to put together? How long did it sort of take? Did you go through a few incarnations of it before settling on?
Well, yeah, we sent Nick some samples, all the ones that I described, and then Nick found that we found that the old wood was coming through a bit more than the sea, and the sea is quite a nice freshness in the scent. So in the end, we increased the freshness and took the wood down a bit. It's pretty strong. Oh, I have it here actually, a sample. It's pretty strong if you stick it up your nostril. If you just sniff the particles, it's kind of like on a windy day by the sea. It's quite nice.
So it's already available to buy, right? Where can people get hold of it?
It's on aromaprime.com in our theme park and attractions fan range. Or you can just type in theme park musical and it'll come up.
Cool. And obviously I'll leave a link below to anyone that wants to check it out and order it. And as Liam mentioned earlier, a lot of proceeds from it are going to go towards the charity Calm, which is absolutely fantastic. I think that's about it. Is there anything you can tell us what's coming up in the future from Aroma Prime? Probably not, but I have to ask you that question.
Well, we've been thinking, kind of like during the last lockdown, we've been in touch with a few of our customers, and one new customer actually who people might be quite familiar with on Twitter and such. Yeah, we do have some. There's one that I'm particularly excited about. I can't say too much, but yeah, there's some exciting things.
I'm sure in the future we'll spend a bit more time with you, Liam, and talk a bit more about Aroma Prime and perhaps your own sort of journey into the fandom of the world of theme parks, which I think would be quite interesting for people to hear as well. But we'll get to that another day. Today is all about Theme Park Fandom Musical. Thanks a lot for your time, Liam. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
But yeah, that is just unbelievable, in my opinion, that they've gone and created this scent. And I believe you worked quite closely with them. They were sending you some samples, and you were tweaking it as you went, which I didn't know until this week, which is fantastic.
I can't believe this musical has a smell. It's just, and it's a good smell as well. It's not like, you know, sometimes when one thinks of Blackpool, you might think, you know, stale beer and disappointment. It doesn't smell like that. It's got a nice, sweet, musty, sea air smell. Yeah, he sent me lots of samples, and we kind of agreed that the smell of the sea had to be quite strong in there, because that's obviously the one big thing you associate with Blackpool. But then Dylan Lee, our director, said, well, that could just be anywhere on the coast. So what makes it specifically Blackpool? So we added kind of old wood in there, and kind of the bit of steel in there, and also some tiny candy floss in as well, just to kind of bring it all together. So it's meant to be lovely. I haven't got it yet, but I've got the samples. Maybe if I can kind of mix them all together.
Leave them to it. I'm sure they'll.
Yeah, and you know, it's great that they're giving all their profits to the charity as well. That's the best thing about it.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Obviously, I've kind of top and tailed this video with a bit of information about Calm, who are a suicide awareness group, and obviously a lot of the proceeds from this, any money you make really is going to be going back to those guys, which is a fantastic thing. Do you think international fans will get it? The closest thing I've ever seen to this, probably only one thing out there, which is Jason Ginsberg, who runs Fake Theme Park.
Yeah,
did a great song about being a theme park princess, basally, which is a
And then I worked with Jason over the lockdown for a song that he did for the 10th anniversary of Mr. Gantley's theme park. But Yes, I think because there's some very, very British things in there, but we interview with in the loop with the legend there, who's a great friend of mine, and he can't wait to hear it, and I think he loves Blackpool. A lot of Americans have been to Poole, so I think it's certainly going to be okay. There's certain things you might not get, but the whole thing is we are guiding the listener through this weekend. So the whole thing is about you are a bit of an outsider experiencing this for the first time. So I think when you get to the kind of most exciting bit of the show, you will be well aware of what this kind of tradition of opening weekend is all about, because what the song is explaining. So yeah, I don't think there's anything for international listeners. In a way, it will kind of help promote our weekend, and when we all can meet, they should come over and experience it, because there's nothing like Blackpool in February.
I think it's sometimes it's easily forgotten, but musical theatre and theme parks do have an affinity.
They do. Even
the great John Wardley, who as you know, I've been lucky enough to spend some time with, and has become a bit of a friend almost. Yeah. He started his career kind of in theatre, and I believe he's even got a cameo in the show.
He does have a cameo, yeah. Which is great and really, really nice of him to do that. And absolutely, for me, musical theatre and theme parks have just been the same, that Venn diagram, with me and Ryan, I guess you could say, and in the middle. I know, so many people get it, that musical theatre and theme parks are both about suspending your disbelief. You're surrounded by sets, lighting, storytelling, and music, and everything is kind of bigger than life, more enhanced. Emotions are, raw, and there's dancing. So absolutely, a lot of people who work in the musical theatre industry love theme parks, and a lot of people who work in the theme park industry are also massive musical fans. I know John Burton, he's very, very excited about the project. He just loves musicals, and it certainly shows. But yeah, so it's about time someone combined the two to kind of do a serious, fun. And I did a dreadful musical 10 years ago for the theme park podcast, coasterradio.com. So I have done it before, but that was American, and now this is probably the reason why I didn't want to do it for Americans again. I thought, let's make it about my friends, and let's make it British. And there's something great about having possibly every single one of my friends is involved with this show.
Lovely. Somehow,
whether they're singing in it and trying their best to sing in it, or little tiny cameos. It's just been an absolute joy together, and I'm so excited for everyone to hear it.
On that note, got a couple more questions for you. But before we get to that, yeah. I believe you're going to give us a bit of an exclusive sneak peek.
What is a theme park musical? This is Harry from Coasterbot, and I'm here to tell you a lovely story about acceptance, friendship, new creds, community, and all that stuff. So, come with us to Blackpool, where every theme park fan in the country has headed during a cold weekend in February, for some reason, as you meet newest community member, Jamie.
Hi, welcome to my first ever vlog. My name is Jamie, and I'm a brand new theme park fan. I've never told anyone that before. It felt good. Anyway, I'm here in a beautiful B&B in Blackpool, and I've hardly slept at all. Thinking about today, for today is the day I finally get to call myself part of a group, a unique group of people just like me. Welcome to opening weekend and the theme park community.
That's that. That's the
Wow.
a bit of a tease.
Pretty epic. That is pretty epic. He's so good, isn't he, Ryan? He should have more. I know he's very nervous about it all, but he really shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, he shouldn't be. He's wonderful. And yeah. So, what's obvious in that is that it's absolutely unapologetically a musical.
Yeah.
It holds no. Some things are kind of, we're not a musical, but we're going to have play with songs, or no. This is. Look at the album. There is 56 minutes worth of songs in this show, and 13 originals, and it's non-fun and laughs, and what Owen loves when when we worked on the music together, when he was doing a lot of backing vocals and some of the instrumental stuff, it's just the variety that we've done. So there's like 80s rock, rap, gospel, tango, all the music hall, big marches, creepy scare-me music, big musical theatre, madness songs, references to Hairspray, as I said, Les Mis, Vita, Wid, Billy Elliot in there, and it's just it's there's something for everyone in the show, and that's really, really happy with it.
What's surprised you most about this whole process?
On a kind of creative level, what surprised how good technology is and how easy it is to do something. I say easy, how every time I put a song together, like I have to remind myself, people recorded this generally on their phone in their house, and here we are together, some quite good quality recording. But everyone makes a slightly different, so you remember that when you're listening to it. And so that surprised me as to how fun it was to put together, and how lovely it was to strip away my singing voice from these demos, because also what surprised me is how generous people are and how talented people are at singing. You get Kip Hakes has a couple of lines singing, which is just not something you expect to hear. And how open Kieran, not Kieran Jackson, but how open Sir Archie has been with kind of working on his rap song, parodying himself whilst parodying Jack Silkstone. Jack Silkstone is also in the show, but he just plays a random cameo. So it's this weird otherworld Doctor Who kind of a thing that's going on, that you'll there's lots of Easter eggs. If you have to listen to it a couple of times to get some really, really substances that are buried underneath the main dialogue scenes and stuff. So there's lots of fun stuff in, and so that's what surprised me really, and just how talented people are, and how generous they are with time and talent, and how open people were to coming along with me on this stupid dive that I forced upon people for the past month.
It's beauty, I think. You can't be too stupid with something like that, because it's just so much
fun. But I mean, it is, as I say, it is unapologetic. I can't even say it, unapologetically a musical, but we are treating it so seriously, even though the subject matter is utterly ridiculous.
Sure.
There's a tango, which is a love song to a roller coaster, which is the most ridiculous idea in the world. But because everyone's treating it as a proper piece of writing, and that's how comedy works. As if you like, Ronnie Barker is one of the greatest comedic actors of all time, because he's an actor and he just reads what's written and he just takes it seriously. That's why Book of Mormon works, and so many musical comedies work, because it's just, we break the proverbial fourth wall at times, but it's you treat it as a serious piece of art, and you will get results. And we've done the best that we can with the kind of situation that we're in, which is we're very, very happy with it.
Would you say the lockdown factor has been the biggest challenge, or has there been
I think the lockdown factor has been it sounds like a TV show, doesn't it? The lockdown factor. It's like the Krypton factor, but slower. I think without the lockdown, this would have never have happened, because people have the time to mess around recording and learning songs and building sets and stuff like that. And when we say building sets, we mean 3D, SketchUp versions of sets. So the writing of it came out of what we call part 1 of lockdown, and the recording of it came down only in the last 5 weeks. If we really got together from the first read through to where we are now, which is an hour and 9 minutes worth of musical theatre. So I think the lockdown, sadly, has been the best thing about this project, is that people are able to do it and want it, and they're doing it. And we've all had a great time doing it over the last 5-6 weeks, I hope. I can't speak for everyone, but I have. And we hope that because if we were all in Blackpool, we wouldn't be able to sit down to it. So it's a bittersweet situation we're in. We can't all be in Blackpool, so we don't have to listen to it, but I'm sure many people will on the YouTube, which is nice. I wish we weren't, but we are. So we're kind of making the best of the situation. I think that's what we're doing.
Do you have aspirations to try and turn it into a live show one day?
Absolutely. One day in the future when live shows are a thing, but we're thinking, because it's all vlog based, I see it being a series of vlogs on YouTube, and that would be the most meta thing to do with it. But it also could work on stage. We'd have to make it into a proper 2.5 hour story, and we're looking at ways of doing that, with massive rewrites and things. But we want to see what people think of it first. We don't know if it even works. We don't want to leave it, because obviously there's a market for it, and theme parks are a great place to tell a story that's about a group, because we all go there as a group. So you got an excuse for big ensemble numbers, and you got an excuse for a big old-fashioned tap dance song and tangos, and so many different characters. That's what's great about the community itself. But yeah, so I'd like to. I can't promise anything because it's expensive to put shows on. Kieran said that we want to do his set visualization. One piece of scenery alone is £20,000. Right. So it's things like that realistically, probably not. But ideally, we'd love to put it on the stage, because that's where musical theatre belongs.
No, I don't think you'd be short of people who would come and help.
I hope not. If they want to help, they can sign a check and really help that way.
So people can listen to it, I think, Saturday, 6th of February at 7:30 p.m. Is that right? On your YouTube channel, which I'll obviously.
We're doing a live YouTube premiere at 7:30 on my YouTube channel, which is YouTube Nick Hutson, HUT for Tango SON, and join us. Do reaction videos, do watch parties, we're going to release some karaoke versions of the songs, so you can have sing-alongs and TikTok it and all that stuff. So we want it to be as a communal experience as possible. And please buy the smell from Aroma Prime. It's only about 12 quid. So, support them, support the charity, and make the show as immersive as you possibly can.
Cool. Well, I shall leave links below to everything we've talked about today. Links to Aroma Prime, to the charity Calm, and obviously to your channel as well. Hopefully next time as well, at some point, I'll get to see you in real life again. Because obviously,
I hope so.
We'll get to that, I'm sure. But thank you very much for your time, Nick. I really appreciate it.
Right.
And I'm just going to put in one final shout out to the charity Calm, and there'll be a video at the end of this video about them as well, and how you can donate. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
After suffering for a long time and having thought about ending my life, I came across Calm.
Some voice in my head said, before you go, try calling Calm. I stared at the number.
I felt really silly initially for reaching out, even though I was at the lowest point I'd ever been.
The person on the other side of the line took me down from doing something really stupid, helped me decide what to do with my life. They've helped me through some of my darkest moments. I found them in literal tears.
They are the ones I turn to when I'm at my lowest. Without them, I think I would have given up a long time ago.